Now, here's our Darren Haynes with his take on this graduation gift.
Let me put into context how much Robert F. Smith just changed the path of these students' lives forever. The national student loan crisis has reached more than $1.6 trillion, and historically black colleges and universities like Morehouse College are most affected. According to the sociology of race and ethnicity, black young adults take on 85% more education debt than their white counterparts, and white borrowers pay down their education debt at a rate of 10% compared to the 4% for black borrowers. As a result, 15 years after blacks leave college, they hold 185% more in student loans than white adults. Let's look at Howard University. According to College Factual, around 2,600 students entered loan repayment in 2014. After 3 years, 7.6% of those students defaulted on their loans. When compared to the average 3-year default rate of 7.2%, the default rate at Howard is poor. Toxic debt becomes a barrier for those who can least afford it, depriving our entire community of the economic growth and revitalization it badly needs and deserves. Trust me, not just Morehouse will benefit from this, America will. I'm Darren Haynes, WUSA 9 Sports.